Hello, wild ones. Welcome back to the Wild and Untamed Way with me, Emma Louise Dyson. And today we are diving into one of my favorite times of the year, Mabon. So, if you've been feeling that shift in the air, that gentle transition from the vibrant energy of summer to the quieter, reflective space of autumn, then you are already connecting to the magic of this season. In this video, we're going to explore everything that you need to know about Mabon. We're going to talk about its history and folklore, the colours, crystals, herbs, and the symbols connected to this season, and of course, the rituals and the magic that you can do to honour this sacred time. So get yourselves comfy, grab a cup of something warm, and let's dive in to the beauty and the mystery of Mabon. So what exactly is Mabon? Mabon is the autumn equinox, a day of perfect balance between light and dark, where the hours of day and night are equal, and it's also one of the 8 Sabbats on the pagan wheel of the year, and it marks the second harvest festival of the year. It's a time where we honour the earth's gifts, the fruits of our labour, and we prepare ourselves for the quieter, darker months ahead. Mabon is all about reflection and gratitude. We've been going through these energetic bursts of the spring and the summer. We've been planting our seeds, nurturing them, and now we get to reap what we've sown. So whether that's literally through harvesting our physical crops or more metaphorically through personal growth, it's a time of the year to pause and to really appreciate what we've created, what we've manifested. But Mabon isn't just about creating abundance, it's also about balance. So just as the day and the night come into harmony, it's really an invitation for us to find that balance within ourselves, to ask, where in my life am I out of balance? Where do I need to let go? Where do I need to release? You know, Mabon reminds us of just that. Just like the leaves falling from the trees, we can't hold on to everything forever. So there's this real beauty in releasing what no longer serves us. Mabon's also a time of preparation. And as we move into the darker half of the year, sorry, I know I said it, it's really important for us to start thinking about what we need to nurture and we need to protect through the winter months, whether that's our physical, our emotional, or our spiritual well-being. And this is why Mabon feels so sacred. It's not just about celebrating the harvest, but also about preparing for the next phase of the cycle, the next turning of the wheel. It's a powerful reminder of all of the interconnectedness of all things, right? Life, death, and rebirth. So now let's dive into some of the history and the folklore of Mabon. So Mabon takes its name from the Welsh god Mabon ap Modron, who was known as the divine son of the Great Mother. In Welsh mythology, Mabon was stolen from his mother Modron as a baby and was held captive until he was rescued by King Arthur and his knights. Mabon represents the child of light, and his story is deeply tied to themes of rebirth and growth and the cyclical nature of life. Just as Mabon was hidden away, only to be returned, we can think of the sun's light being captured by the dark half of the year, only to be reborn at Yule. Mabon as a festival wasn't celebrated by the ancient Celts under this name, but it is closely linked to older harvest festivals. Across cultures, the autumn equinox has always been a time of deep gratitude. In the British Isles, this time was called Harvest Home, a period where communities came together to celebrate the successful gathering of crops. There were huge feasts and bonfires and offerings made to the land and the spirits in thanks of the bountiful harvest. In many ancient cultures, the equinox was also seen as a moment of deep spiritual significance. The balance between light and dark was viewed as a gateway, a time where the veil between worlds became thinner, much like we see during Samhain. And the idea of preparing for the coming darker winter months and honoring the dying sun and acknowledging the turning of the wheel of the year is something that is echoed throughout history. And of course, the ancient Greeks were also tied to the autumn equinox as well. The story of Demeter and Persephone in Greek mythology was tied to the autumn equinox. Persephone, the daughter of Demeter, is taken to the underworld by Hades. And this moment marks the start of autumn, when Demeter's grief causes the earth to become barren. Persephone's return in the spring brings the world back to life, and the seasonal shift is celebrated at both of these equinoxes. Personally, I love how Mabon really reflects this theme of descent and return. It's a time to really embrace both the light and the dark that we have within ourselves, to honor the balance in all things. And as we gather the last of the year's harvests, we're reminded that just like Persephone, we must sometimes journey into the shadows to find our own rebirth. All right, now let's talk about some of the correspondences, right? Just loving all the philosophical stuff, but let's talk about the correspondences. So these are tools. The correspondences are tools and symbols that we can use to connect more deeply with the energy of the season. So whether you are setting up an altar, creating a ritual, or you're simply bringing some autumnal magic into your space, these correspondences can really help you to align with the essence of Mabon and really to feel into that energy. But before we do that, if you are getting value from this video right now, don't forget, please, to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I create content every single week, so you might also want to hit the notification bell too, so you don't miss out on any videos. And I'd love to hear in the comments, are you going to be celebrating Mabon this year? And if so, share with us some of the things that you're going to be doing to celebrate one of my favorite festivals. So let's look at some of the correspondences. Let's start with colors. The colors of Mabon are those that are rich and earthy, and they have these wonderful earthy tones. These tones reflect the changing leaves. They reflect the harvest. So you're going to think of like deep reds, burnt oranges, golden yellows, browns, and greens. These colors symbolize abundance. They symbolize grounding. They symbolize the balance between light and dark. And incorporating these colors into your home, on your altar, even in your wardrobe, can really help you to tap into the grounded autumnal energy of Mabon. Some powerful crystals to work with during this time include citrine, amber, carnelian, and smoky quartz. Citrine and amber are wonderful for manifesting abundance and gratitude, while carnelian really energizes your creative and your personal power. And smoky quartz, perfect for grounding and protection, and really helping you to release what no longer serves you, so we can move into the darker months. When it comes to herbs, Mabon is full of herbal magic. Sage, rosemary, mugwort, cinnamon. These are all great herbs for this time. Sage and rosemary are excellent for cleansing and protection, while mugwort can be used for divination and dream work. Cinnamon, love cinnamon, adds a real warmth and real abundance to your rituals as well. Plus it smells amazing, right, when it's burnt as incense. The stag, owl, and the blackbird are some of the animals that are associated with Mabon. The stag represents strength and grounding and the connection to earth, while the owl brings wisdom and insight, especially as we move into the darker half of the year. I know, I said it again. The blackbird is the messenger. The blackbird's the messenger between the worlds, symbolizing mystery and also the unknown. You can also work with different incense during Mabon as well. So burning incense in your Mabon rituals can really help you to set the tone. Frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood, or patchouli would be really great choices because these earthy scents can really help us to ground our energy and to really connect with the deep spiritual vibrations of this season. You might feel connected to different mythical beings, beings like fairies or forest spirits, or even our ancestors during this time. And Mabon's thinning veil allows us to communicate more easily with these energies. So if you're doing any kind of spirit work or ancestor honoring, this is going to be a really powerful time for you to reach out. When it comes to tools and symbols, there are a few that are connected with Mabon. We have cornucopias, that's such a lovely word, acorns, and beautiful harvest wreaths. These are classic Mabon symbols. The cornucopia represents the overflowing abundance of the harvest, while the little acorn symbolizes the potential for growth and new beginnings. A harvest wreath on your door is going to be a wonderful way for you to invite the blessings of Mabon into your home. Some deities that you might want to connect with during Mabon include Demeter, Persephone, and the Green Man. Demeter and Persephone, of course, embody the themes of the harvest and the descent into the underworld, while the Green Man represents the vitality of nature and the fruits of the earth. The overall purpose of these correspondences that I've just shared with you is to help you to align with the energies of gratitude and balance and preparation. By using these elements, you're creating a sacred space to honor the season and the gifts that it brings, both in the physical world and also in your personal life as well. Remember that the magic of Mabon is all about connection to the earth, the changing of the seasons, the cycles of life and death and rebirth. And by incorporating these correspondences, we honor the natural world and we also align ourselves with the rhythms. Now let's talk about one of the best parts of Mabon in my experience, and that is feasting. As this is the second harvest festival, Mabon is all about celebrating abundance and the earth's gifts. It's a perfect time to gather with your loved ones and to share a meal and to give thanks for the harvest, both literally and metaphorically. The foods that we eat at Mabon reflect the fruits of the season and the harvest. And so think apples, pumpkins, squash, grains, nuts, root vegetables. These are foods that have been harvested and stored for the upcoming winter, and they symbolize sustenance and they symbolize preparation for the darker half of the year. Apples in particular hold a really special place in Mabon traditions. They're not only delicious, right, but they are also deeply symbolic as well. In many cultures, apples represent wisdom and the cycle of life and death and rebirth. You could bake an apple pie, you could make some apple juice or some cider to honor this connection. We then got grains. So grains like wheat and barley and corn also play a really significant role. They represent the culmination of the harvest, the fruits of your labor, and the nourishment that they will carry you through the winter months. So sharing a loaf of homemade bread is a lovely thing. It's very simple, but it's also a really powerful way to celebrate Mabon. The foods that we choose to eat during Mabon are more than just sustenance, though. They are symbols of abundance, of nourishment, and of the connection that we have to earth. So when you're preparing your Mabon feast, you're not just cooking, you're engaging in an act of gratitude and you're honoring the cycles of nature. Every single bite is a reminder of the earth's generosity, right? I freaking love that. One of my favorite ways to celebrate Mabon is with a hearty stew. So this is very simple, it's very nourishing, and it is filled with seasonal vegetables like carrots and potatoes and squash. You can add some herbs like rosemary and sage for a little touch of magical energy as well. And as you cook, set the intention of gratitude for the abundance in your life and for the support of Mother Earth. Or if you prefer something sweet, a spiced apple cake is perfect for Mabon. Apples, cinnamon, dash of nutmeg, creates the most delicious dessert, and this really embodies that warmth and comfortingness of the season. And the act of baking as well itself becomes a very sacred ritual when you infuse it with your intentions. The key to Mabon feasts isn't just about food though, it is the energy that you bring to the table. So whether you're eating alone or with your family or friends, make sure you take a moment to reflect on the abundance in your life. Give thanks for the food, for the earth, for the lessons that you've learned, and for everything that you've harvested this year. Feasting at Mabon is more than just filling our bellies. It's all about filling our spirits with gratitude, reflection, and joy. So, now we've covered the correspondences and the important things of food, let's dive into some of the customs, some of the activities, and some of the rituals that you can do to celebrate Mabon. So this is the perfect time to really get your hands on and really immerse yourself in the magic of the season. So, throughout history, people have celebrated Mabon by giving thanks for the harvest and the preparation for the coming winter months. And one ancient custom, especially here in the UK where I'm from, is called Harvest Home. And this is where communities would gather for a feast. They would decorate with the last sheaf of wheat, and they would make offerings to the earth in gratitude. And while we may not all live on farms today, this sense of coming together in community and really honoring the harvest is something that we can still bring into our modern lives. If you're looking for a very simple way to honor Mabon, then you can start with a really beautiful gratitude ritual. All you need to do is grab your journal and a pen and just simply sit in the quiet space that you have and reflect on all of the blessings that you've harvested this year. What have you cultivated in your life? Whether it's a relationship, whether it's personal growth, even physical manifestations like new opportunities. Write them down with gratitude or say them out loud, and that can really help you to connect with the spirit of Mabon. Another personal ritual that I love creating is a gratitude jar. So you're going to take a small jar, loads behind me, and you're going to take some small slips of paper and then write down all of the things that you're grateful for on each slip. You're then going to fold them up and place them in the jar. And you can keep adding to it throughout the season as well. And when you're feeling down or you're feeling disconnected, all you need to do is revisit that jar to remind yourself of all of the beautiful abundance that you already have in your life. Mabon is, of course, a great time to do magic-centered practices and magic that is all around balance and protection and letting go. So one simple spell that you can do is a balance spell. You're going to grab 2 candles, one black and one white, representing the balance between the dark and the light. And as you light them, focus on the areas of your life that feel out of balance. What do you need to bring back into harmony? Sit with the candles and meditate on these different areas of your life, asking for guidance on how you can restore balance within yourself. Another powerful practice is performing a release ritual. Gotta love a release ritual. And since Mabon symbolizes the letting go of what no longer serves us, this is the perfect time to clear out right now anything that's been holding you back. Write down what you are ready to release, whether that's old habits, whether that's limiting beliefs, whether that's stagnant energy, and then burn the paper safely and just let that release and let go into the universe. If you're feeling crafty, Mabon is going to be the perfect time for making your own magical tools. So you could create a harvest wreath, as we've already spoken about, for your door. And you can do this using fallen leaves or acorns and herbs like rosemary and sage for protection. Or you could make a Mabon sachet. So you're going to fill a very small pouch with different herbs and crystals that resonate with the season, and then you can keep it on your altar, or you can carry it with you to stay connected to the energies of Mabon. If you have the opportunity to gather with like-minded people, why not consider hosting a Mabon feast or a circle? Share a meal, exchange gratitude, and perform a ritual together to honor the turning of the wheel. If you can't gather in person, you could also create a virtual space where you and others can share what you're grateful for and celebrate the harvest together. Mabon is a time of deep reflection. It's a time of gratitude. It's a time of preparation for the darker months. Whether you choose to honor it with a simple gratitude process, a full-blown ritual, or a creative project, the most important thing is to make it personal and meaningful to you. So as we wrap this up, let's explore just a few ways and a few more magical ideas that you can incorporate into your Mabon celebrations. So as we've said, this is a time between light and dark. And so it is really rich for opportunities for introspection. It's a perfect time for magical work and for deepening your connection with nature. Mabon is incredibly powerful when it comes to divination. It's one of my favorite times. So with the energy again of balance and reflection, it's going to be perfect for seeking clarity and guidance for the months ahead. So whether you use tarot or runes or pendulum or witches runes, this is the perfect moment to ask, what do I need to release? Where should I focus on as I kind of move into the darker half of the year? Or you might want to do, I don't know, just a simple 3-card tarot spread, which focuses on the past, the present, and the future. What you've harvested, where you are now, and what you're preparing for the winter as it approaches. Mabon, as we know, is deeply tied to gratitude as well. So we've talked about a gratitude jar or writing a journal and keeping track of your gratitude. But one of my favorite practices is actually creating a gratitude altar. So it doesn't have to be a big elaborate thing. It could just be a small space where you place some symbols of what you are thankful for. The more that we give gratitude, the more the universe gives us things to be grateful for. So you could put a photo of a loved one, a journal of your achievements this year, or even objects that symbolize your personal growth. And really take time each day just to sit at your altar and to reflect on the abundance in your life. And another beautiful way to honor Mabon is by connecting with nature directly. So go outside, regardless of the weather, take a nature walk, and really see the changes that are happening around you. Notice the color of the leaves, the crispness of the air, the shift in the energy. Collect symbols of autumn, acorns, leaves, and stones, and bring them home. Place them on your altar or decorate your home. These natural items carry the energy of Mabon, and they can really help to ground you in the season. If you're feeling extra connected to the earth, like me, consider making a Mabon mandala outside as well. Using leaves and stones and flowers and other elements, this can be an offering to the earth. It can be a way of giving thanks to the bounty that she provides. And as you create the mandala, really focus on all of those wonderful things that you're grateful for and what you wish to release as the cycle turns. Mabon's also a time of deep personal reflection. So take a moment to ask yourself, what have I harvested this year? What lessons have I learned this year? And this isn't just about physical achievements, but it's also about emotional and spiritual growth. So use this time to set your intentions for the upcoming months and think, what do you want to nurture and what do you want to really protect during the darker season? And as we move into the darker half of the year, this is the perfect time to start engaging with shadow work. Mabon's energy of balance really invites us to look at those parts of ourselves that we have been avoiding or that we have been suppressing. Shadow work doesn't have to be really daunting or heavy. It's just simply about acknowledging the parts of ourselves that we might need to heal or that we might need to bring light into. And this could be through journaling or meditation, or even just sitting, with uncomfortable feelings and asking what they're here to teach you. Remember, Mabon's a time of balance. It's a time of preparing. It's a time that we're shifting into the darkness. It's a time where we're celebrating all of the things that we've harvested. It's a season that asks us to honor both the light and the shadow within ourselves as well, and to reflect on the year so far, and to move forward with gratitude and grace. So as we close out this deep dive into Mabon, I want to remind you to really take some time to really reflect, to give thanks, and to celebrate the harvest in all areas of your life, whether you choose to feast with loved ones, perform a ritual, or simply spend some quiet moments in nature. Remember that Mabon is a time of balance and gratitude and preparation. And if you're feeling called right now to dive deeper into your own spiritual practice, I have got something very exciting to share with you. Enrollment is now open for my Beginners Shamanic Witchcraft course. This course is perfect if you are ready to awaken the witch within, to connect with the natural world, and to start your journey in shamanic practices and traditional witchcraft. It's a beautiful blend of ancient wisdom and modern magic, and it is designed to help you to step really confidently into your power. So if you're interested, all the details are in the description, and I'd really love to welcome you into our circle. So thank you so much for being here, for your energy, for walking this path with me. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share your Mabon plans in the comments below, because I really love hearing from you and how you're going to be celebrating and what you're going to be reflecting on this season. Wishing you a wonderful, magical Mabon. And until next time, stay wild, stay untamed, and stay cool, won't you? Bye.